Welcome back, everybody. It's so good that you're joining me again here today. We are back with Unit 5 Follow Your Passion. Today, we are going to talk about listening to. Exactly. Here we are listening to Find Your Passion. Okay, we will start off with the vocabulary. Here is a summary that we are going to read together. It's a speech that you will hear later on. And we're going to look at the bold-faced words that we are saying here. We've got volunteer, take a chance, process, environment, and figuring out. What is your passion? Do you play sports in your spare time? Do you volunteer to help people at a school or organization? Do you love to play music? Some people take a chance and follow their passion into a new career. In his talk, Jeremy Benson describes how he went through a process of evaluating his work environment, finding his passion, and figuring out a new direction in life. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is match the words with, or the phrase with the correct definition. And I'd like you to circle the correct word or phrase to complete the definition. Like number 1 is environment, which is E, and it is situations, not decisions. So the situations that affect the way we live and work. You can pause your video to do that right now. Go ahead. Great, that brings us to the comprehension. You're going to listen to the speech by Jeremy Benson. He gives advice about how to find your passion in life. There are 3 pieces of advice that he's giving, 3 strategies that he is pointing out, and I'd like you to tick off the 3 strategies that you're hearing. Other than that, I want you to take notice, look at the 2 pictures, left and right, A and B, and which picture shows Jeremy Benson's job right after college and which one shows the job he has now. Okay, you're going to answer that while you're listening to the audio. Before you do that though, I'd like you to annotate these sentences, underline, circle, highlight the keywords so you've got a focus for your listening. Do that first. Great. That brings us to the listening.
Just out of college, with a degree in biology, I got a job as a research assistant in a biotech company. Now, this was a good job. The pay was good, and I had the chance to move up. But after a while, I realized that I didn't want to get up in the morning and go to work. I had to figure out what my real passion was. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, finding your passion. So first, I want you to ask yourself, what am I good at? Think about skills that come easily to you. Like maybe you're very artistic, or maybe you're good at building things. Also, think about areas where other people think you're an expert. In my case, I've always loved science, and in high school, my friends always asked me for help with their science homework. The next thing is to think about all the things you like to do. Do you love making dinner for your friends? What were your favorite classes in school? What do you do in your free time? Me? I've always liked helping people. Starting in college, I volunteered for the Red Cross, helping people in disasters or after fires. I get a lot of satisfaction from that. My final suggestion is to make a list of the things that are important to you. What kind of environment do you want to work in? Do you want to work with your hands? Do you want a job where you can travel? As a research assistant, I mostly worked alone, but when I thought about it, I realized that I really like working with people. So I went through this process. I looked at my scientific skills, my desire to help people, and my love of working with people and decided that nursing was the perfect career for me. I quit my job and went back to school, and now I'm a nurse at Children's Hospital. And guess what? I love it. I took a chance, and it paid off. And that's how I found my passion in life. Thank you.
Okay, great. That brings us to the next part, the two pictures. Please write down the A and the B. Job right after college or job he has now. Great. That brings us to the listening skill. We're going to talk about reduced speech and unreduced speech. Listen to an excerpt from the speech, Finding Your Passion, and how does the speaker pronounce the bold-faced words want to and had to.
But after a while, I realized that I didn't want to get up in the morning and go to work. I had to figure out what my real passion was.
You can hear that the two words are kind of blended and put together, and it comes out like one sound. That is called reduced speech. Reduced speech is mostly used in informal language, in informal speaking. When we're doing something formal, like a speech or anything that would have a formal setting, you should never use reduced speech. It's more into a day-to-day language that we use when we talk with friends. Okay, we're gonna listen to the words, how they sound different.
Going to, gonna, got to, gotta, want to, wanna, should have, shoulda, could have, coulda, have to, have to. What are you, do you,
Yes. See, you can hear the difference, right? Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is this. You're going to listen to the conversation. You're going to notice and hear the reduced phrases in the audio. But you're going to complete the conversation with the unreduced form of each phrase. So you will hear the reduced phrase, but I want you to write down the unreduced phrase. There are 7. Okay? Let's start.
what are you doing after college?
I'm going to look for a job. But there's a problem. I'm a business major, but I want to be a teacher. I should have gotten a teaching certificate. Do you think I could get a teaching job?
I think you should try. There's no rule that says you have to get a job that matches your major.
You're right. I've got to think about this some more.
Great. We're going to continue. We have come to the part of connecting the listening. So, in this part, we're going to look at listening 1, combining it with listening 2, and seeing how the facts in both listening parts correlate. Yes? Here we're going to look at the first part, which is how did the speaker realize he or she needed a career change? 2, what help did the speaker get from his or her parents, if any? And 3, what strategies did the speaker use to change his or her career direction? Now we're going to look at Julie Hessian, Simon Sinek from listening 1, and Jeremy Benson from listening 2. So you're going to listen to both audio recordings one more time. While you're listening, please take notes so you can fill out this chart with the details about career decisions. Ready? Okay, let's go.
Eric Michelson talked with 2 professionals to find out how their parents influenced their career choices. Julie Hessian is a cookbook writer and the founder of a company that makes breakfast cereal.
What role has your family played in shaping your career aspirations?
I have a very supportive family. My dad is the first person that ever told me to follow your passion and make money off of it. And I've always, I know that's a huge phrase right now. You hear that all the time, but I heard that from my dad a long time ago.
After majoring in hotel and restaurant management in college, what made you decide to shift away from that in your career?
Well, the fact that about 3 months into my first job out of college, I decided that I hated hotel and restaurant management. That was my first clue. And it was interesting because, when you're an undergrad and you're taking 4 years in this curriculum, and all you're learning about is, hotel restaurant management, hotel restaurant law, hotel restaurant marketing. So I kind of had tunnel vision, and I was thinking, well, this is what I've chosen to do. I'm tied to it. This is going to be my life. And I got my first job with Wyndham Hotels. They don't tell you where they're going to put you when they hire you. So anyway, I got the job with Wyndham. They put me in Annapolis, Maryland, which I had, great city, but I had no friends there. You didn't really make a lot of friends working in this small hotel in the city. And I was so unhappy. I wasn't happy at work. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. And this is an instance where my dad came down to Annapolis. He drove down to Annapolis, took me to lunch, and he said, this isn't right for you, but I think you need to figure out what you want to do and make a change and figure out how you're going to get there. So that was like such an aha moment for me, that I could do something else, that, my major, I didn't have to do my major. So, and that was huge, because then I started just kind of looking around and kind of opening my mind a little bit.
Simon Sinek is an author and public speaker who studied in England and now teaches leaders and organizations how to inspire people.
Where has your family been most supportive in your career development?
When I graduated college, I went to law school. And after not quite a year of law school, I realized that I didn't want to be a lawyer. And so I decided that I was going to drop out of law school. And I never fought so much with my parents than during this time. And I remember my parents tried everything, They played good cop, bad cop. They tried bribing me. They tried saying, we're your parents and you're going to do this. They tried being my friend, like, look, just get your law degree, then you can do anything you want. Every strategy that exists, they tried, right? And at the time I wanted to go into marketing, right? I wanted to go and join the ad world, right? And my dad was in England on a business trip about the time that I had to re-enroll. And he sits down with me and says, so? I remember it. We were sitting in our friend's house, and he says to me, so? And I said, I didn't re-enroll. And the first words out of his mouth were, right, let's get you into advertising then. My parents were 100% against me until the decision was made, and then after that point, they were 100% supportive and never, ever, ever raised it ever again. They literally never mentioned it again. And so I have to say, I've been very lucky in my life, which is my parents will give advice. My parents will give strong advice. My parents will try and push and move, where they would like their children to go. But ultimately, once the kids have made the decision, they're 100% supportive. And so I've been very lucky.
Just out of college, with a degree in biology, I got a job as a research assistant in a biotech company. Now, this was a good job. The pay was good, and I had the chance to move up. But after a while, I realized that I didn't want to get up in the morning and go to work. I had to figure out what my real passion was. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, finding your passion. So first, I want you to ask yourself, what am I good at? Think about skills that come easily to you. Like maybe you're very artistic, or maybe you're good at building things. Also, think about areas where other people think you're an expert. In my case, I've always loved science. And in high school, my friends always asked me for help with their science homework. The next thing is to think about all the things you like to do. Do you love making dinner for your friends? What were your favorite classes in school? What do you do in your free time? Me? I've always liked helping people. Starting in college, I volunteered for the Red Cross, helping people in disasters or after fires. I get a lot of satisfaction from that. My final suggestion is to make a list of the things that are important to you. What kind of environment do you want to work in? Do you want to work with your hands? Do you want a job where you can travel? As a research assistant, I mostly worked alone, but when I thought about it, I realized that I really like working with people. So I went through this process. I looked at my scientific skills, my desire to help people, and my love of working with people, and decided that nursing was the perfect career for me. I quit my job and went back to school, and now I'm a nurse at Children's Hospital. And guess what? I love it. I took a chance, and it paid off. And that's how I found my passion in life. Thank you.
Great. Take some time to check your chart. That brings us to synthesizing. As we know, when we're connecting both listenings, the first thing we do is organize the information from both audios and then we synthesize. Synthesizing means where we're connecting multiple sources in order to create something new. Now, in this case, we would be creating a discussion based on the information that we've gotten from listening 1 and 2. Okay, here are 3 questions I would like you to answer and write down. You can just write it down there on the blanks on the page that you have in your textbook. So when we meet the next time, we get to discuss this together, okay? Number 1, the people in listening 1 and listening 2 came to their career change decisions in different ways. Compare the experiences of the 3 people. How were they similar and how were they different? Number 2, which person seems to have the closest relationship with his or her parents? What leads you to think that this relationship is the closest? Number 3, which person had the most effective strategies to change the direction of his or her career? And why do you believe these strategies were the most effective? Okay, answer these questions so when we meet in our Zoom meeting next time, you will have no problem to answer any of the questions because you've already answered it. That brings us to the end of our lesson today. Okay, so good. I'm going to review. First, what we did was our vocabulary. Okay, we did the words with the definition. And after going over our vocabulary, we went over comprehension. The listening comprehension, you had to hear the advices that were given and picture recognition. Then we went over reduced speech, which is mostly used in general English when we talk with a friend, and unreduced language that we use in a more formal setting. You had to fill out the conversation. Last, we did connecting the listenings by organizing information from 2 listening audios and synthesizing, making it into a discussion, which we will do in our next Zoom meeting. Thank you very much for joining me today. You are amazing, and I really appreciate your effort to watch the video and to do the activities. It's important for your learning process, but still, I think it's kind of cool you do it. I'll see you next time. God bless you. Bye-bye.